Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Alright, we have volume of a frustum of a cone today. And whenever you hear frustum of a cone is, your cone is like this. So this is the diagram of a cone. So but when we are talking about frustum, it means that a part has been cut out from the cone. So when we have a part that has been cut out from the cone, then it will now be like this. This place has been cut out. So when you cut something out, you still see the fraction of it that has been cut out. So let's still say this is the cone this is the original cone, everything original cone. But when we cut a part out of it, so from here to this place is the frustum of the cone. So that's what we're calculating here. And then we said the frustum of a cone, all bottom and top radii are respectively 12 centimeter and 8 centimeter. The whole bottom, that's this whole bottom radii. Radii means plural of radius. So radius, the plural is radii. So the two of them, the two radius, sorry, the two radii, because one is radius and two is radii. So 12 centimeter, that's for the bottom. They said are respectively 12, and that's bottom and top. So bottom is 12, top is 8. So this bottom is 12 here, and the top is what? 8. Now you can see that it was initially, the cone is supposed to be like this, but because you have cut it out, so the frustum is now in this form here. So okay, it's better I draw it here so that you can get it better. Let me do it like this so you can actually understand the concept. So now this is what I was trying to see. This is the whole cone. Why? This is now the top radii, 8 centimeter. Then this is the bottom radii. That's the bottom radius, top radius, bottom radius, to be 12 centimeter. Now, if the height is 13 centimeter, that's the height of, don't forget, it is the height of the frustum. That is 13 centimeters, since we are dealing with the frustum. So it is this height alone. Here is not part of it. They didn't give us this place. The only place that they give us is here. So the height is here. Now, calculate its curved surface area, total surface area, and the volume. So the first thing we need to know is our formulas. So let me just put the formulas here. So the first one is curved surface area, that's CSA. So that will be pi, the big arrow L minus pi small arrow L. So this is curved surface area. Now why it is big, why it is this minus this, is because inside this cone we have a big cone. Big cone is this. Then we also have a smaller cone. So you are minusing the bigger cone minus the smaller cone. So that is it for this. Then total surface area is the big plus the small plus the curved surface area plus this one. So it means that even though you are asked to get the total surface area, you need to get the curved surface area first. Then the next one is the volume, and the volume formula is pi big arrow square h minus pi small arrow square h. So this is the volume formula. Now we need to calculate the curved surface area first. So for curved surface area, we have pi big arrow L minus pi small arrow L. Now this pi is fixed value, that's 22/7. Radius, you have your radius already here. That's for the big radius, you have 12. Then for the small radius, you have 8. And then your okay, I've said that. Now this big L and the small L, they are called slant height, or we call it slant edge. So yes, this place now, this is the small slant height. Why this is the, everything now is the big slant height. That's, it means that the cone, in a cone, yes, this is what I want to say. This is your slant height. Why this is the height of the cone, but this is the slant height of the cone, which is slant edge of the cone. Then this is the radius. That's how it is. But you can see that this cone now is into two, the bigger one. So the bigger cone, everything here now, this is the height for it, that's the slant height for it. But for only here alone, this one is the slant height for it. So that's what we're trying to pick out from here. So now, but you can see that here we don't have this and we don't have this. So there's no how we can even solve the cost of this area. So the first thing we need to do is to go and calculate the slant height. So let's just say, recall that. Now, I want to bring this triangle, I want to bring this out in form of triangle. This is what I want to bring out here. Remember that this one also has its own height too. This place, it also has its own height too. That's the small height, the small h. Then let me just use, or let me use this place as x. So it's as x or h. Okay, let me use it as x. Let me use this place as x. So this place is the height for the small cone. Now, I want to bring this place out. I want to bring the triangle out. Okay, it's just a right angle triangle. It is a right angle triangle. So this one, so here to here is x. Then this place is 8. And this place is a small l. So you can see now. Now for the bigger one also. For the bigger one, that's this one. Okay, let me look like this one to this one. Okay, before this, because we are still going to look for this x. So before we even recall, because we wanted to go into Pythagoras theorem, but before we go into that Pythagoras theorem, we need to get this x here first, because without getting this x, we cannot use the Pythagoras theorem we want to use to get this last side. So what we need to do is to equate this small cone and the big cone. That's since they are parallel. So this is it here. X over 8 equals to x plus 13 over 12. So this is what we are saying, that this over this is equals to this plus this over this. They are parallel. You know, parallel are always the same. So at the end of the day, we want to get x. So this times this and this times this. So we have 12x equals 8 open bracket x plus 13. So we have 12x equals 8x plus 13 times 8. That should be 104. Yeah, 104. So 12x minus 8x equals 104. So this will be us 4x equals 104. So we divide both sides by 4. So x equals 104 divided by 4. X will give us 26 centimeter. So it means that this place is 26 centimeter. 26 centimeter. Now to now get the big height here now. So it means that it is this and this to give us the big height. That will give us 39 centimeter for the big height of the cone. The small height of the cone is 26, but the big height will now link it to the height of the frustum to give us 39 centimeter. Now we can now use what I wanted to say before. So recall that. Pythagoras theorem. Hypotenuse square equals opposite square plus adjacent square. Now, what led to this is because we are trying to get this last side of the triangle. And to get the last side of a right angle triangle, you use Pythagoras theorem. So this small height is 26, and then the small radius here is 8. Then the small slant height here is L. And you know your Pythagoras theorem. If you remember, I taught you, I said that the hypotenuse is the one opposite the right angle triangle, and then the adjacent is the one where the angle is lying on, and then the opposite is what is facing the theta here. So we can now go by saying hypotenuse is L squared, because we are looking for L. So that will be L squared equals opposite square. That will be 26 squared plus 8 square. So L square equals 26 square plus 8 square. That will give us 740. So L will now be equals to square root of this. So L equals square root of answer. That will be 27.20. 27.20 centimeter. So we can see this at 27.2 since it is 27.2 centimeter. Now let's go to the bigger one also. We are not done yet because we need to now get the bigger L also so that we can put them into our formulas. This is where we are still going to. We are just linking this to get this. So for the big L2, that's BL squared. Okay, should I still draw it out? Okay, let me draw it out so that you understand. I'm trying to manage the space, but let me draw it out. So for the big height now, this is for the big right angle triangle. So from here to here, so this and this is 39, and this now is now the big L here. That's this, the whole of this now. Then this one is 12. That's the big radius. So we can now solve this. Big L square equals, according to Pythagoras theorem, this one, that will be 39 square plus 12 square. Remember what we did here, opposite square. Yeah. So L square equals 39 square plus 12 square. That will be 1665. So the square root 8. Okay, L equals square root of 1665. So L equals square root of answer. We have 40.8 centimeter. So since we have 40.8 centimeter here and we have 27.2 centimeter here, so already we have the small one to be 27.2 and then we have the big one to be 40.8. So we can now put it here. So CSA equals 22/7 times the big radius remains 12. Yes, 12. Then times the big length, that's big slant height, is 40.8. Then minus 22/7 times the small r this time around, that's small radius. Small radius is 8 times the small slant height that we got is 27.2. So we can now punch our calculator to get this. So let's quickly punch it. We have 22 times 12 times 40.8. So this whole place divided by 7 is 1538.74 minus, now let's do this other place. So we have 22 times 8 times 27.2 divided by 7, we have 683.89. So let's minus it from our answer. 1538.74 minus the answer, that will be 854.85 centimeter. Curved surface area, I told you area is always measured in square, so we have centimeter square. So that's it for the curved surface area. So we have been able to do this first one. Now the total surface area, now everything will now be easy because we have already gotten all the parameters that we need to solve the question. So total surface area, we use this formula, pi r square plus pi small r square plus the curved surface area. Now remember I told you that you can't get curved surface area and total surface area when you have not gotten your curved surface area. So we have 22/7 times big radius is 12 square plus 22/7 times small radius is 8 square plus your curved surface area 85 centimeter square. Let's still leave that for now. So let's punch our calculator to get this. We have 22 times 12 square divided by 7. So we have 452.57 plus we have 22 times 8 square divided by 22 times 8 square divided by 7. We have 201.14, then plus 854.85. So let me plus everything together. 201.14 plus 5452.57. So we have, sorry, let me add this thing well. 452.57 plus 201.14 plus 854.85. So we have 1508.56 centimeters square, because it's total surface area. Also, area is always in centimeters square, square unit. Now the last one, volume. The formula is here. We have big pi r square h minus pi big r square big h, then pi small r square small h. That will give us 22/7 times radius. Big radius is 12 square times big height is, now our big height, I think we've gotten it already. Yes, our big height is 39 minus 22/7 times our small height is 26. That's the small height there. Now let's punch this also. We have 22 times 12 square times 39 divided by 7. So we have 17650.29 minus, we have 22 divided by 7, 22 times 8 square times 26 divided by 7. We have 5229.71. Now let's minus it. 17650.29 minus 5229.71. Sorry. 22 times 8 square times 26 divided by 7. 5229. Okay. 22 times 12 square times 39 divided by 7. 17650.29. Okay, 17650.29 minus 5229.71. Sorry, I think I'm making the mistake in the calculation. 22 times 12 square times 39. That's okay. Divided by 7. That'll be 17650.29. Okay. 22 times 8 square times 26. Yeah. Divided by 7. So we have 5229.71. So 17650.29 minus answer. Okay. I'm coming to check something. Oh, sorry, there was a mistake in the formula. It is 1/3 pi r square h. Yeah, that's the formula for D. So it's supposed to be 1/3 here. So that'll be 1/3 times this, and also 1/3 times this. I think that was where the mistake came from. So we have 22 times 12 square times 39 divided by 21. Yeah, 21 because of 7 times 3. That will be 5883.43 minus 22 times 8 square times 26 divided by 21. We have 1743.224. So now let's minus this. 5883.43 minus 1743.24. Okay, so you have 4140.19 centimeter. Now volume is measured in cube, so it is centimeter cube. So sorry for the formula. It's supposed to be 1/3. Remember, 1/3 pi r square h. That's the formula calculating the volume of a cone. So just minus it from the bigger and then from the smaller. So that is all about volume of a frustum. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you like, please kindly like, comment and share. And if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. God bless you in Jesus' name.